But what if somebody's also in Tinder? You know, it's supposed to be a discreet. Isn't there? What's the? There's one for is the lesbian called? Is it Kinder or something? There's a lesbian one. I know there's a gay one. That's everybody knows what that one is. I mean, it's all over Facebook. Actually, it's called Grinder. So what if one of these people is all of a sudden they're on Grinder or Tinder or Kinder or whatever it is, and they don't want other people to know? Well, somebody's going to go look them up and try to find out, and that opens up to the possibility of extortion of people in our government, big time. And folks, this is a disaster. There is no way that any one of us should construe these hackers as being heroes. I don't care where your morality lies. Yeah, I think it is wrong for people to try to help others, but you know what? It's not their responsibility. It's the one who's doing the cheating. It's their responsibility. I mean, it's no different from a wife sitting with her girlfriends and saying, "Oh man, you know the waiter, yeah, whoa, man, that would be kind of nice to have a romp in the hay with him." And the girlfriend saying, "Well, I know who he is. I know his name. I know where he lives. I can hook you up." That happens all the time too. And we've even had movies about that. Was it the Sonny Wisecarver story and a few other movies? You know, the pizza delivery boy and the pool boy and that kind of thing. This is not a good thing, folks. It's really not. You may want to believe that it's that it's heroic for exposing people like this, but it is a breach. Now look, you got to understand, if they can get into Ashley Madison, they can probably get into anywhere. Now, how about benign sites where nobody's doing anything nefarious or morally corrupt or questionable, and they expose that information? What they're saying, folks, is, yes, maybe we don't like Ashley Madison, but if we can get into Ashley Madison, which obviously probably had some very high-level security systems, and they breached that security, they can breach almost anything. It's a criminal act. And I have didn't even know what Ashley Madison really was until now. So I've never been on any site like that. Now, I take it back. I think back in 2003 or 4 when I was first getting a divorce, I think I got a free account on eHarmony. And I was on it for like a month. What a waste of time. I'm sorry. I know there are probably some people that met their wonderful lovey-dovey spouse on eHarmony and all those other wonderful dating sites, but yeah, it was a waste of time for me. But that's it. I didn't pay for it. Thank God, because what if somebody decides to hack eHarmony now or something? I don't know. Yeah, it's just not a good thing, folks. I don't care how you look at it or how you try to justify it. It's an illegal act that puts pressure on a lot more people than were actually members. Innocent people. And a lot of innocent people are going to get harmed by this. The fallout hasn't even begun yet, folks. It really hasn't. And by the time it's all done and the dust settles and clears, most of you out there who think that the hacker or hackers right now who think that they're heroes, you're going to have a totally different opinion of them. I guarantee you. Speaking of different opinion, is anybody going to have a different opinion of a political retread? There's a rumor going on around there that there's somebody that's thinking about jumping into the race, because evidently the GOP establishment is losing confidence in Jeb because the Donald is just running amok, according to them. So Jeb is, He's supposed to be the front runner. He's supposed to be the one that they're going to give the nomination to, but it doesn't look like that Trump is going to give up that position. So there's another person who's thinking, well, maybe the needs to come back in and jump back in. Yeah, Bob Dole. No. Just kidding. Not Bob Dole. Not Bob Dole. I know somebody's going to hear that and start running. Bob Dole is going to try to run for president. No, not Bob Dole. But there is a retread. That is, according to this story from WND News, and he's asking the question, is this the latest strategy to help the Republican establishment fend off the seemingly unstoppable force of Donald Trump? There are reports from political insiders that Mitt Romney is now reconsidering entering into the 2016 race for the White House. So remember, Romney said that he was not interested. He was not going to get in. He was not running. He was not going to be candidate. But now all of a sudden, Jeb Bush, who I guess it was his turn, doesn't look like he's doing so well. And Donald Trump is just pretty much crushing everybody. So now the GOP establishment is trying to pull a Democrat thing, and what are we going to do about Hillary? Well, maybe we should get Joe Biden in. So, what are they? I guess we could end up with a Biden-Romney presidential run campaign. You know what? Look, I know as funny as that may sound, but I am telling you right now that if we have a 2016 presidential campaign of Joe Biden and Mitt Romney, that you will be lucky if you get 1/3 of the eligible legal voters in this country to vote. Because people will have had it, and they will believe unequivocally that no matter what they say or do or how they vote, that their vote doesn't count or matter. It will destroy our republic. A Biden-Romney campaign will help be the end of our republic as we know it. Look, don't doubt me. I'm telling you this. Because we heard, from the beginning that both of these guys, I'm not going to run. I'm not going to run. I'm not really interested in running. I've never thought about running. Biden, I haven't thinking about running at all. So, I'm just too busy being vice president and enjoying that under Obama. Blah, I'm not interested. And all of a sudden, maybe I need to have a meeting with Elizabeth Warren and, GOP saying, well, hey, Mitt, maybe you should reconsider, coming back in, like be like Ross Perot, and jump back in and get in. I don't know. Look, didn't we already learn that Mitt can't win his first run? He lost a nomination to John McCain, and in the second run he lost to the second term seeking Barack Hussein Obama. The president, the one who instituted something that most Americans hate, Obamacare, and yet Mitt Romney still lost. So you want to bring this guy back to do what? To lose to Joe Biden and Elizabeth Warren? No, Mitt needs to stay home. Let this be a lesson to the GOP establishment. If Donald Trump is running amok because of what he is saying, and he is garnering 20, 30, 40,000 people at events all across this country because people like what he say, that should tell you something. If candidates who were down at the bottom of the polls were starting to sound like Donald Trump and they started shooting up in the polls like Dr. Carson, that should tell you something because they're sounding more like Donald Trump. And if you get people who are sounding like the same old tired, blue-blooded, rhino Republicans like Jeb Bush who are falling and sliding in the polls, that should tell you something. It doesn't mean, hey, Jeb, sorry, guy, but you're not doing it, so we're going to go get another good-looking old retread over here who's also a rhino and bring him back because, he could probably win. No, he can't. He can't win the White House. I'm sorry, Mitt Romney cannot win the White House. He doesn't need to be there at all. He needs to stay far away. Far, far away. Farther, the better. And once he gets far away, he needs to go a little bit farther. Oh, I'm dead serious. Don't get me... Mitt's a nice guy. He really is. He was a decent governor for the state of Massachusetts. He really was. He would have been a much better president than Barack Obama. He really would have been. But now we've got some choices that are truly conservative. And whatever there are a lot of people out there saying, well, Donald really isn't a conservative. No, but maybe not, but he's at least has a bunch of talking points that are very conservative. And he's gotten a lot of other true conservatives talking about those talking points as well. And many of them are moving up in the polls. He's a good thing. So what we need is somebody who's a true conservative, who's as strong as Donald Trump to get into the race then. Or move up. Plain and simple. And not another blue-blooded rhino that's lost twice before. What are we going to do? 3 strikes, you're out, Mitt? We can't afford it. We can't afford it. We can afford 4 years of Donald Trump, maybe 8, but we can't afford to lose and have 4 years of Hillary Clinton or Joe Biden. We can't afford it. Well, Rod, you still think Hillary could... Look, Hillary's a Clinton. I know she's got troubles, but, if Biden doesn't get in the race, then that means that Obama has got to put all his faith and ability behind Clinton, even if he doesn't like him. Because otherwise, a lot of what he has accomplished is going to get undone in the first 4 years of a new presidency, and he can't have that. You can count on his ego being his undoing. The president's ego will be his undoing. So that is, unless, of course, the GOP, the rhinos, if they're so dead set against giving a conservative a shot that they're going to bring back Mitt, well, then President Obama's legacy will be secured. I hate to say, I hate to say this, but if Romney were to get in and he were to somehow garner the nomination, yes, of course, I would support him because he'd be a far better president than a Joe Biden or Hillary Clinton. But for crying out loud, we've already gone down that road. We can beat whoever the Democrats throw at us this time with just about any of the candidates on the right. Conservative candidates. Ted Cruz could beat the Democrat. Benjamin Carson, I believe, could beat the Democrat. Carly Fiorina, I believe, could beat the Democrat. Scott Walker, I believe, could beat the Democrat. And Donald Trump can definitely beat the Democrat. We don't need to go backwards, folks. Not at all. Well, folks, that sound means we are out of time for tonight. I won't be back here tomorrow. It'll be a best of show, but back live on Wednesday. Until then, I'm Rod Eccles. This has been the Rod Eccles Show. I'm out.